Iwi Imhotep Neferim Kemet. Welcome in great peace to Egypt. This is a promo video on my cultural channel, Ancient Egypt Resurrected. Have you ever met a real ancient Egyptian character who would be your tour guide to the lifestyle, facts, and mysteries of ancient Egypt? He will escort you to discover and experience ancient Egypt alive. This promo video demonstrates some topics which you are going to watch in the next episodes. Each episode will tackle a different topic and you'll meet a different ancient Egyptian character or guide. I hope you like the contents of this series. If so, kindly press the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I'm Farag Sharabasi, and welcome to the magical world of ancient Egypt.
I am Ankhev, the carpenter. I have crossed the time barrier to your current time because I have something to tell you. I am sad because my carpentry toolbox has been disturbed. I don't know who messed with it. I have to make a complaint to the Lord of Heaven. Anyway, I will tell you my story and everything about carpentry in our country.
I am Senefer, the mayor of ancient Thebes, which you know as Luxor. I am the overseer of the granaries and fields, gardens and cattle of god Ammon. I used to make banquets and parties for my friends. Now, I will take you on a tour to join one of my banquets and parties like all other nobles did in our beloved Kemet, Egypt.
I'm Ramos. From my place in the eternal afterlife, I can see the past, the present, and the future. I'm an ancient Egyptian scribe and artisan. I held the position of the scribe of the tomb. It is the highest administrative position for a scribe in Deir el-Medina. I and my wife didn't have children of our own. Despite our sorrow, I will take you to the world of our family life as ancient Egyptians.
I'm Amenhotep. From my place in the eternal afterlife, I can see the past, the present, and the future. I have crossed the time barrier to tell you all about our ancient Egyptian society. It was I who divided it into social classes and described each of them. And I put a system for knowledge organization. This idea began in the Middle Kingdom. They consider me wise, but I was doing my duty to my country Egypt. I included everything I know about our society in a papyrus, which you call the Onomasticon. I classified our society in this papyrus, in a way that you can understand.
I'm Ptahhotep, the vizier during the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. I wrote my Sibayit, instructions, which you named after me. You call it, the maxims and teachings of Ptahhotep. I distilled the wisdom and experience not only for my son, but for all people. These maxims will survive forever and ever. As these writings came from my soul according to the rules of Goddess Mot, who controls the cosmic order and harmony. But today, I'll talk about something different. It is the story of peasants and agriculture in our country that goes back to time immemorial. Again, part of my responsibilities was to supervise the granaries of both the South and the North, Upper and Lower Egypt.
I'm Gemniumhat, they call me Gemni. I've crossed the time barrier to talk to you about the majority of our people, that's to say the farmers and peasants, and about agriculture in our country. I'll answer all the questions the sage Ptahhotep asked in the previous episodes. I was the overseer of the royal granaries during the so-called the First Intermediate Period. I bear several titles, including royal sealer, steward, overseer of the granaries, and funerary priest at the Pyramid of King Mary Kara. So, I could trace all the steps of cultivation and the storage of the crops from my position as the overseer of the royal granaries.
I am Pinmaru, the chief scribe for recording the counts of the herds. I've crossed the time barrier to talk to you about animal husbandry in our country. This activity is as important as agriculture to us. However, the pastors are socially inferior to the peasants, who cultivate the land, despite their hard job.
I am Menkaparare Senub, the high priest of Ammon. and the superintendent of the gold and silver treasuries, and chief of the overseers of craftsmen. I served at the time of Thothmes III and Amenhotep II circa the mid-15th century before your common era. I have crossed the time barrier to tell you all about metalworks and smiths in our country. This includes crafts and artisans. Copper, bronze, and iron are the main metals tackled in my talk. I will also talk about jewelry making in our country.
I am Canifer. I worked for one of the noblemen of the Old Kingdom period, circa 2200 years before your common era. I was the foreman of the fisherman and the overseer of his fishing boats. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about fishermen and fishing, which was very prosperous and formed an important activity in our country.
I am Ameni, the foreman of the potters and the overseer of the brickmakers. And I lived during the New Kingdom. I am best known for my work at the workshop of Deir el-Medina Necropolis, where I created a variety of pottery vessels for different purposes. I am credited with creating a special type of pottery, which is characterized by its distinctive black-topped and red-bodied vessels. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about pottery and brickmaking in Egypt.
I am Ka, the overseer of works for the village of Deir el-Medina during the mid-18th dynasty. I worked under 3 successive kings, Amenhotep II, Thutmose IV, and Amenhotep III. I attained this high position through my skill. I and my wife, Merit, had 3 children. My wife Merit died before me unexpectedly in her 30s. And I died in my 60s. Our undisturbed tomb has been discovered in 1906 your common era. It is considered the best preserved non-royal burial in Egypt. Alas, almost the entire contents of the tomb are now displayed in the Museo Egizio in Turin. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about faience and glassmaking in our country.
I'm Kayam Senin, the supervisor of the makers of ropes, mats, and baskets during the 18th dynasty of the New Kingdom period. I've crossed the time barrier to talk to you about rope making, mat making, wickerwork, and basketry in ancient Egypt. We Egyptians were the first people to use specific rope creating tools to make it and record the steps of the process. It is the basic step in the other mentioned industries.
I am Yabtet, the overseer of the House of Weavers. I worked for the royal palace during the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom period. I have crossed the time barrier to talk to you about textiles in our country. The production of textiles played a significant role in our economy and trade. We were skilled at spinning, weaving, and dyeing textiles. Our fabrics were highly valued both within the country and outside of it. During my time, most spinners and weavers were women. However, men were also employed in the production of textiles, whether during the cultivation of flax or the manufacture of linen and textiles.
I am Peta Mose the treasurer, and overseer of the seals under Amenhotep III, during the 18th dynasty of Egypt. I have crossed the time barrier to tell you the story of papyrus in ancient Egypt. This will include its symbolism and economic importance in our country. Papyrus was a fundamental aspect of our culture, as it was the primary medium used for writing and recording important information about our heritage. It was the gift of Egypt to the whole world as the most practical and easy-to-carry writing material. The word paper was derived from the word papyrus in our language. Papyrus was the Greek pronunciation of the word papyra, which means the great royal house. That means the pharaoh.
Make sure to tune in to my next videos. If you have any thoughts or questions, add them to your comments. Kindly press the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I'm Farag al-Sharabasi, and see you in the next episodes. Thank you.